Welcome back to Never Asked with me, John Martin. We are still counting our 200 railway landmarks in the UK. We have just hit 160, so we only have 2 more episodes to go. We're into the 1980s. The Intercity 125 is on the tracks. The Tyne and Wear metro station is opened, and Ernest Marples has run away. We're in 1982 now. This is 161. It is a sectorisation of British Rail. When British Rail was created, it was split into autonomous regions, basically inherited from the grouping of the pre-nationalisation era. Sectorisation saw passenger services now split up between Intercity, which are the principal express routes, London and the South East, and Provincial, which later became regional, basically everywhere else. 1st of the 11th, 1983, and the introduction of the Class 141 into service around Leeds. These were the first of the Pacers, a low-cost bus body with axles directly mounted onto the chassis. The Pacers saved many branch lines from closing, but were unreliable and notorious for their lack of comfort. While improved, larger Pacers lasting into the 2020s, the 141s were withdrawn in 1990 and many ended their days in Iran. 9th of the 10th, 1984, Thomas the Tank Engine TV show debuted. 1985, the first of the Sprinter diesel multiple units saw service. These replaced both older diesel units and local hauled services. The Sprinterisation of British Rail saw an increase in frequency of many cross-country services. 30th of 6th, 1980, and Broad Street Station in London closes. Opened by the North London Railway, next to Liverpool Street, this served many suburban trains and at one point was the 3rd busiest station in London, with a train arriving or departing every minute. However, competition from other modes of transport and the general rundown of UK railways in the 70s and 80s saw the few remaining services diverted to Liverpool Street and the site demolished and turned into an office complex. 1986, the electric advanced passenger train, designed for the curvy West Coast Main Line, which was faster but more technically advanced using tilted technology than the high-speed train. The project was delayed and the British press ran a campaign of negative stories about the project. So rather than give British Railways time to prove the concept, politicians took the decision to withdraw the ATP trains in 1986. 10th of the 6th, 1986 was the launch of Network South East. Stations to trains, all the services in South East of England and beyond, because Network South East at one point stretched to Yeovil, got the bright white and blue and red branding. London and South Eastern, the forerunning sector, never had the money for a full branding exercise. Its Jaffa Cake livery was only applied to a few services, whereas Network South East was everywhere, and in some cases, its branding still remains. 18th of the 11th, 1986, the orange and yellow credit card sized APTIS tickets were launched on Regent Street in London. People seem to disagree what APTIS stands for. The 2 leading contenders are Accountancy and Passenger Ticket Issuing System and All-Purpose Ticket Issuing System. The 11th for the 1st, 1987, a shortened Intercity 125 train of 2 power cars and 3 carriages hit a speed of 148 miles an hour running from Darlington to York on the East Coast Main Line. 31st of the 8th, 1987, the Docklands Light Railway first opened to regenerate East London and the Docklands. The network has now expanded south of the River Thames. 18th of the 1st, 1987, the King's Cross fire caused 31 casualties when fire began under a wooden escalator and spread throughout one of the busiest systems on the Underground. The aftermath led to the banning of smoking on London Underground and the replacement of wooden escalators, as well as extra fire detectors and firefighting equipment installed in the stations. 16th of the 5th, 1988, the first train to run over the new Thameslink line ran. This service now joined the Brighton line and the Bedford line, providing north-south travel across the capital. 12th of the 12th, 1988, the Clapham rail disaster saw 3 trains crash with 35 killed and 484 people injured. The crash was caused by a faulty signal, and it was found that the technician responsible was on his 13th consecutive 7-day work week. Limitations on working hours in safety-critical jobs were introduced following the inquiry. However, more recent events suggest the valuable lessons have been forgotten. 31st of the 3rd, 1989, the Vale of Rheidol Railway was privatised. This Welsh narrow gauge railway had become a branch of the Cambrian Railways and so was absorbed into Great Western Railway on grouping and followed its parent into British Railways. While steam was removed from the main line network in 1968, this line carried on running steam trains, including running with the British Rail double arrows. Upon privatisation, this saw the official end of regular steam on British Railways, and the railway morphed straight into becoming a heritage railway. 29th of the 6th, 1989, the last Edmondson ticket was sold on British Rail, was issued at Emerson Park on the Romford to Upminster line. September 1989, the electrification of the East Coast Main Line reaches York, with Class 91 electric locomotives along with brand new Mark IV coaches under the moniker Intercity 225 were planned for 140 miles an hour running, which is 225 kilometres, and they were introduced under the wires. It could be argued that the Mark IV coaches, with their less cushioned seating, were a step on the way towards the ironing board seats that we find so ubiquitous on the network today. Although it has to be said, the Mark IVs are far more comfortable than their modern replacements. 17th of the 9th, 1987, Class 91 91010 got a British speed record for electric locomotives at 161.7 miles an hour on Stoke Bank, the site of Mallard's speed record. 4th of the 1st, 1990, Sid Meier and Bruce Shelley's Railroad Tycoon game is released. The game was so addictive that some British games reviewers missed their deadline as they were too engrossed in the game. 7th of the 8th, 1991, and the electrification of the East Coast Main Line has reached Edinburgh. It's marked with the 26th of the 9th, my 180th landmark. An Intercity 225 set made the run between London and Edinburgh in 3 hours and 29 minutes. So we're almost there. We've hit 180 landmarks. We only have 20 to go. So tune in next time to find out what those last 20 will be. What other things could I have included in this section? What things shouldn't I have included in this section? Please comment, like, subscribe. Please check out my other videos. And I'll see you next time for even more landmarks.